Hello everyone, Ron here from RJJ's Reactions and L.T.L Tutoring Central, of course. But it's with RJJ's Reactions that we're talking about today because I'm back with Rush and the next track on the album of Farewell to Kings, which is right here behind me. You're going to see the cover in a minute because it's on the video. It's Cinderella Man. I've heard all these songs before. As you can see, I have the album. Haven't heard them for a long time, except for the ones I've already reacted to recently. So this will be not new for me, but new-ish. I haven't listened to it for a few decades probably. So let's have a listen to Cinderella Man, and I'll talk about the lyrics afterwards because they write their own lyrics, of course. Okay, there we are, the A Farewell to Kings album cover. You can see it behind me as well. And if you haven't subscribed, you could subscribe right now. I'll just wait a minute for you to do that. La, 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 la. Okay, have you done it yet? All right. Let's try to get everyone, all the viewers to subscribe. I know that's not going to happen, but over 90% haven't. So we can do better than that. We have actually improved it. I think it's about 92 now. It used to be 95. So we are getting some improvement. Let's have a listen to Cinderella Man.
Traveled rich to the sea. He had a need to discover a use for his newly found wealth. Because he was human, because he had goodness, because he was moral, they called him insane. Delusions of grandeur, visions of splendor, a manic depressive, he walks in the rain. Eyes wide open, heart undefended, innocence untarnished. Cinderella man, doing what you can. They can't understand what it means. Cinderella man, hang on to your plans. Try as they might, they cannot steal your dreams.
I'll back up in a minute, but I kind of like the build-up of the guitar and then Getty's voice in the calmer section, and the build-up of the guitar again, and then Getty's voice again. And we'll talk about the lyrics separately, so I won't say too much about them right now.
In the betrayal of his love, he awakened to face a world of cold reality. And the look in the eyes of the hungry awakened him to what he could do. He held up his riches to challenge the hungry. Purposeful motion for one so insane. They tried to fight him, just couldn't beat him. This manic depressive who walks in the rain.
Nice. Traveling from side to side. There's a lot of ear candy going on, and they're switching from side to side, and they're just toying with you a little bit. I love that.
Cinderella understand what it means. Cinderella man, hang on to your plans. Try as they might, they cannot steal your dreams.
Nice build up to the end actually there. Okay, that's it. All right, I'm going to talk about the lyrics in a moment. If you just look at the album cover there, there's some cues or clues or whatever you like to some of the songs, or I guess all of the songs really on the album. So you have a what looks more like a marionette there, but also maybe a king. The crown is on the ground, however, and they're sitting on a throne. But they're also dressed up as a jester. So you get that mix of who has control or who's controlling whom, or who gets to make the change. And then it looks like we're in a dump. I don't know if you've ever visited a garbage dump. I'm not sure people do as much of that. Um, but it might not be a dump. It's just destroyed buildings. You've got smokestacks in the background, and you've got looks like large apartment buildings. So the city, uh, parts of it are crumbling. Maybe the world is crumbling. I don't know. Uh, but yeah, it looks like everything is falling apart in a way, and yet you have this king sitting here. Okay, let's have a look at the lyrics now. Cinderella Man by Rush songwriters Alex Lifeson and Geddy Lee. Actually, looks like I'm missing a letter there. There we go. Quick fix. A modest man from Mandrake traveled rich to the city. He had a need to discover a use for his newly found wealth. Because he was human, because he had goodness, because he was moral, they called him insane. Delusions of grandeur, visions of splendor, a manic depressive, he walks in the rain. So, a lot going on there. Traveled rich to the city. He had a need to discover a use for his newly found wealth. So, what is this, an inheritance or something, maybe? Uh, it said a modest man from Mandrake. So, I guess at one point he was modest and then he maybe inherited a great deal of wealth, who knows? Because he was human, because he had goodness, because he was moral, they called him insane. Well, I guess if you're not human, they wouldn't call you insane. So you have to be human probably to be insane. uh, because he had goodness, because he was moral. So sometimes, yes, the world can seem that way, that the people who are good and moral and ethical, sometimes people think, well, they're nuts. How can they even survive in this world? Delusions of grandeur, visions of splendor, manic depressive, he walks in the rain. Eyes wide open, heart undefended, innocence untarnished. Um, yeah, so somebody new to the city wants to do something good, walks in, eyes wide open, but heart undefended. Cinderella, man, doing what you can. They can't understand what it means. Hang on to your plans. Try as they might, they cannot steal your dreams. Maybe they can though. You can be crushed. A lot of people who want to do good or try to do good get crushed by others, and particularly if you're manic depressive, that's not helpful. But Cinderella Man, Cinderella, is this just a fantasy? You can't make the change you want to make. It's just a dream or it's just a fantasy. And it won't last. In the betrayal of his love, he awakened to face a world of cold reality, and a look in the eyes of the hungry awakened him to what he could do. He held up his riches to challenge the hungry. Purposeful motion for one so insane. So, sort of defying the idea that he's insane, that he has purpose, that he has a reason for what he's doing and what he believes. It's not insanity after all. They tried to fight him, just couldn't beat him, this manic depressive who walks in the rain. So there's a lot that you can extract from that possibly. So sometimes they say optimists are happier people. which is probably true. And pessimists tend to be more depressed or unhappy, which is probably true. but that but that they tend to be more accurate and more correct. So take your pick. Do you want to be happy and wrong, or do you want to be depressed and correct? That's not always the case, of course. There's always a mix, but uh, I think that fits in here a little bit too. So he may be manic depressive, but he's not insane. Just because you're depressed does not mean you're insane, for sure. And he has purpose. He has a goal, a positive goal. Cinderella Man, doing what you can. They can't understand what it means. Cinderella Man, hang on to your plans. Try as they might, they cannot steal your dreams. They cannot steal your dreams, but they can potentially stop you from um, making those dreams come true, from affecting the change that you want in the real world. So that's a possibility, and I think that happens a lot to a lot of people who are a bit naive and sort of eyes wide open, heart undefended is naivety, and want to make change. They get into various organizations, even politics, and I think some politicians, I think at least originally had excellent ideas and excellent uh, goals or dreams, but sometimes they weren't tempered with reality. And then other times, even if they were, they get crushed by other people. you know, the the uh, the bad politicians or business people or other people. And I'm not painting all of everyone bad or all of everyone good. I'm saying there is a mix going on, but sometimes it's not just the evil people who make bad things happen. Sometimes we can be a little bit too naive and it seems very simplistic. And I know everyone around the water cooler has the answers to all the world's problems, but in reality, they don't. It's not as easy as all that. There's so many factors that come into play. Good song. I really like this song. I like Rush anyway. I like the sound that they make with their instruments. They know their instruments so well. The drumming is great. The guitars are fantastic, and even the synthesizers and everything that they put together is incredible. Geddy's voice is different but great, and then the lyrics are always really amazing as well. And you can always pull so many things out of the lyrics. All right, I'm going to leave it there for now, Cinderella Man, and all of you Rush fans, new and old. Let me know what else you'd like to hear. We will finish off the tracks on this album for sure, but let me know what else you'd like to hear either from Rush or anyone else. Don't forget to subscribe. There's a little button down there. It's easy to push. And in the meantime, keep listening, keep having fun. Bye bye for now.